Watch this turn. Indicator left, down the slope. What a shot. What a shot, is it? Oh, would you believe that? Rory McIlroy. What a round of golf. It's one outside the Augusta course record.
Go back. Here it comes.
Oh my goodness.
This is way more aggressive than I anticipated. Oh, man! What a shot! I'd say that's pretty good. Whoa!
Good day, golf fans, and welcome back to the Putting for Dough show. We will be chatting all things golf DFS. I have crawled myself off the sick bed for this week. I apologise for the late miss last week. I know it was a late withdrawal, but I am back and I'm ready to make sure things go nice and smooth. You did a good job in my steed, to be fair, Mark. But
I didn't. No, I didn't.
A couple of amateur errors,
yeah.
couple of things that wouldn't have happened that I have been here, but we'll let it slide for the week, seeing as you were holding the fort. But no, how are things going, fellas?
Pretty good.
Go
Jack,
on,
let me get in first before you start. Yeah, pretty good at the moment. Yeah, pretty good last week. And considering I had lots of players drop out, I still made a profit, so I was really pleased by that. So yeah, pretty good.
Nice. Yes, Lynn, I do sound different. I feel like, or at least I sound like I have concrete up my nose at the moment, which is how it feels. Jack, how are you doing, sir? I know that you've got a lot to say tonight, so I'm looking forward to that.
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm the cash lineup come through yet again, and my double up play yet again come through. Save my bacon, along with a Matthew Fitzpatrick miscut. We got that news late on the show last week. Me and Mark did. I'd already sent out the newsletter, unfortunately, then, and he was part of my core plays. I personally switched that due to that news. It done me no favors because I switched to Spieth, but it still did me no favors. But the cash lineup come through, and I do enjoy playing them double ups. I don't know when you want me to start going on a rant, but that's entirely up to you.
I was just going to say, Jack, you've been doing well on your double ups recently, haven't you? But I don't want to prolong this rant. I've been looking forward to it all day. Hopefully it comes as advertised in the chat as well, which will probably add to the rant if anything. The floor is yours.
I can tell you now, I'm glad we didn't do this show on what day was it? Saturday. If we'd done this show on Saturday, I would have just been nuts, more nuts than what I'm going to be right now. If you have got kids around you, just don't listen to this section for like 10 minutes because I'm about to lose my shit, as they say. Yeah, sorry. There's my language gone. Where would you like me to start with this tournament? The rotation part of it? The Nick, this is up to you, so I'll let you decide here. The rotation part of it, the weather, or the Pro-Am? Where would you like me to start?
Let's start with the Pro-Am.
Right, the Pro-Am. This pissed me off the most this week. All right, so I turned the golf on. I'm an avid golf fan, as we all are. Nick, I know me and you watch a hell of a lot of golf. I turn the golf on when I get home from work Thursday. Sit down, enjoy the golf. That's what I like to do. 35 minutes, Jordan Spieth's group on the first hole. on the first hole because they've got some random dudes playing with them. And then I get people coming at me on Twitter. Oh, I quite enjoy watching Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers hitting golf balls. If that's your thing, then great. But fuck me, like, can they not just do that pro-am on the Wednesday? Like, please just do it on the Wednesday. And if you want to, if all these people want to watch it, then go and watch it on the Wednesday. I don't want to watch it during the fucking PGA tournament for 4 days. It really pisses me off. If I wanted to watch an amateur golfer, I would record myself and then just record my whole round and watch it back. I don't care. If Josh Allen, Aaron Rodgers, I want to watch them throw footballs. I do not want to watch them hit golf shots. I do not care. Show me the professional golfers. It's a PGA Tour, for fuck's sake. I got called quite a lot of things on Twitter this week. A snooty golf fan, snotty golf fan. I just said there, like, if that's your thing, it's weird as fuck to me. If that's your thing, but whatever, go with it. But please, can we just have that as one round on the Wednesday? I don't want to watch it for 4 days. It annoys the hell out of me. Like, it's slow as hell. 35 minutes to play one hole. As soon as I saw that 35 minutes, I just turned it off. I turned it off. I was like, I can't watch this.
Before you go on to the rotation, I completely agree with you. And I saw an article earlier. Obviously, Justin Rose wins. I saw an article that's Justin Rose's first win on tour since, was it 2019? He's now secured qualification for the Masters. He's in. We're obviously in Ryder Cup year. These kind of results will support his case to be on the Ryder Cup team, especially with some of the golfers that have jumped across to live. We don't know if they're going to be on the team. We're assuming not. And the article was less about the fact that Justin Rose had just won a PGA event for the first time in years, and instead there was more talk of Gareth Bale in the article, and it's like it was a BBC article as well, a BBC Sport article, and I just think that's a bit of a mockery. Like, report on golf. If it's a golf article, talk about the actual golfers. I don't want to know if Gareth Bale's thinned a chip over the green. Like, I don't care.
Yeah, and that's the biggest issue. The coverage is awful for golf as it is. I do not want to see 3/4 of it when I get home from work of just random professional athletes or random celebrities like Bill Murray. I couldn't give a fuck what Bill Murray does on the golf course. I really couldn't. Again, if it's your thing, great. I find that as weird as hell, but whatever. It's your thing. It's certainly not mine, and they need to bin this tournament next year. Seriously, bin it off. The rotation. Just show me Pebble Beach. Pebble Beach. I mentioned it last week. Any amateur golfer would want to go and play there. It's the top 3 golf courses in the world. I would love to play it. The differentials between the 3 courses, absolute joke. You've got one course playing 3 strokes harder than the other, than the easiest one. I can't remember what the easy Montreal Penicillin. It's that shit. Like, I could, you got. Just show me Pebble Beach. Pebble Beach is a stunning golf course. I want that for 4 rounds on the schedule. I will quite happily watch Pebble Beach for 4 rounds, not the other 2. I really couldn't give a toss. Like, I've had enough of these course rotation events. Anyway, the only one that's half decent is the Farmers Insurance Open because it's 2 fairly hard golf courses. The American Express is crap, and as is Pebble Beach. 2 just crap tournaments. I don't care for them. Just stop it now, please. And then the weather. Let's get into the weather. What a joke the PGA Tour are. Pebble Beach is a links golf course. It's right on the sea, for fuck's sake. I've seen Open Championships with wind worse than that, than what they pulled them off for. And then to top it all off, you've got all these guys trying to play this Monday qualifier to get into this week's tournament, the Waste Management, that are there. And then you get, it must have been like 20 withdrawals on the Saturday or whatever it was. Like, most of them guys were outside the car, granted, but it's on the fucking beach. It's gonna get windy. Like, you allowed them out last year at the Players Championship in a hurricane. I'm sick to death of the sports that I watch, and there's no consistency with the rules in any of it. Last year, it's fine to send them out in hurricane weather at the Players' Championship. It's the same with football. VAR is a load of crap because the people that run it are incompetent. Boxing, Nick, you're a boxing fan. It's the same thing. It's as corrupt as hell. Oh, mate, I am sick of inconsistency in sports that I watch, and I've had enough of it. The PGA Tour can get bent. I tell you, like Liv. If Liv had played an event last week, they would have been just on. They should have played an event last week, Liv, because they would have had my viewing for sure, and I'm pretty sure a lot of other people like would have been viewing. I watched a bit of the Saudi event and I watched the DP Tour, which was fine, but fuck me, the PJ Tour right now can get fucked. I'm done. Sorry, I'm done. We're lucky we didn't do this Saturday. I tell you.
Oh man, should we just sign off there? That's us for this week. We will join you again next
Good
week.
show, guys. Good show.
No, do you know what? So valid, the points, especially around the weather. That last year at the Players was absolutely atrocious. It was worse than what it was at Pebble.
It's a links golf course. It's
Yeah.
on the sea.
Yep.
I just don't get it. I do not get it.
I agree. And I wouldn't mind. It's not us that's playing the course. It's professional golfers that are playing it. If they put them all out there, they all suffer the same weather. Do you know what I mean? It's just, I completely agree. We had a comment there. Did you see Bale's chip from the kart path? Yes, I did. And it was an absolute fluke. He sculls the ball and he's fortunate that it hit the lip of the green where the rough was and trickled onto the green, because that was not a good strike by any stretch. I don't even care if he was on a path. Don't get on the path in the first place. But yeah, that wasn't a good chip. That was fluke, let me tell you. As someone who's hit one of them shots before, that is a fluky shot. The other thing this week, Jack and Mark, that has driven me crazy in the golf world is this absolute travesty of whatever they've done to the Swilcan Bridge.
Have I got to add this?
Add it on. What's that?
Well, they've got rid of it now.
They have. It's now a big hole in the floor. But who thought that was a good idea? Who has signed off on that?
To be honest, it looks really like whatever they got a right cowboy builder in, basically.
It does.
No, I haven't been to Scotland.
Your van wouldn't make it, Jack.
No, it wouldn't. I tell you, no, it really wouldn't. It'd blow up. But yeah, it is awful. I mean, when I first saw it, I was like, "What the hell is this?" But there's, like you said, Nick, there's been some great memes going around with it.
Yeah, and I sort of like, I understand what they were saying with regard to it's a heavily walked path. The grass doesn't grow fantastic there, but this isn't like the first time that this path has been walked before. This is a path that has been walked for years and years and years, and it's always worn. It doesn't matter. It's the fact that it's so iconic. I saw that and I was exactly the same as you. I thought it looks like they've got someone in who started a job and then carried on a little bit and thought, I've messed this up, so I'm just going to keep carrying on till it looks something like what I think is all right. And what they've ended up with is something that's completely not all right. What they've ended up with is basically a giant pancake. I mean, we've got one of the memes here. If you show it on the screen, Jack, it is. I mean, that actually looks better. They might as well have put a big Millennium Falcon there.
I saw one with, I can't remember what the celebrities it was, and there's just like a couple of deck chairs out on the thing.
I've
I
seen
can't
that
remember
one.
who that was.
I've seen the deck chair one. There was one that was, I think there was one with a hot tub. One with like an old couple. It's an absolute travesty that one of the most like renowned golf courses in the world would do that.
Yeah.
But thankfully, they've put it right, sort of. It's now just a hole in the floor. Hopefully, they get some kind of grass or turf down, even if it's artificial. Just something that doesn't look like they've just built a massive giant concrete crumpet at the bottom of the Swilcan Bridge. So the golf world is on its arse this past week.
Lucky it's got a very good event this week.
Let's put it behind us, and let's talk the Waste Management Phoenix Open at TPC Scottsdale, which is a gorgeous course. Jack, tell us about this event.
Yeah, I will do. Just before we get into this event, our DK Listener League is open for everyone. That's in the description of this pod. I might put a little note. This pod actually skipped the first 15 minutes if you don't want to hear a load of swearing. If you don't want to hear a grown man cry. But yeah, as Nick says, this week we move on to TPC Scottsdale in Arizona. It's a Jay Morrish and Tom Westcoff designed golf course in 1986, and then Tom Westcoff redesigned it in 2014. It's a par 71. It's 7,261 yards long. This course tends to play a bit shorter actually than the length in like the 7,261 yards that it is. That's because it's at altitude here in Arizona, so it just tends to play a little bit shorter. There's hazards. There's a lot of water hazards on this place, despite being in the desert. It's water hazards comes into play on 6 holes around here. Again, plenty of desert areas as well, so gonna have to be pretty accurate off the tee again this week. The fairways, the rough, and all the greens here are all Bermuda. It's the greens of that Bermuda odor. Sorry, we'll get your words out, Jack. Bermuda overseed on POA greens. So, but they're just true Bermuda greens now. So that'd be nice for the golfers going back to Bermuda this week, because they've been playing on POA for sort of last 3 weeks, and we know how tricky POA greens are. The winning score around this place normally averages between 15 and 19 under, so plenty of birdies around here. Course tends to actually play harder further into the week that we go, because it just bakes out basically, and they don't put no water on it, so it gets a lot faster. The greens, very hard to stop the golf ball on the greens, etc. Hole 17 is the easiest hole on the golf course. It's a drivable par 4, but if you don't drive it, if you do go for it, you can put yourself into a bit of trouble if you're not accurate off the tee on that hole. You find a lot of desert wasteland around that place. Lots of large greens on here, which is, again, welcome relief for the golfers who have been playing on these smaller greens recently. Hole 16 is that famous stadium par 3 where we saw all the beer throwing last year. It goes wild, doesn't it, if you see a hole in one on there? So it's it's a good golf course, stacked field. The last sort of 4 holes here are really good, lead to an exciting end to the tournament. You've got water in play on 18 and 16, I know that. So not 16, 15. So, there's plenty of room to make your birdies coming in, but there's also plenty of hazards to make you lose the championship coming in as well. Been a lot of playoffs at this event as well down the years. So we'll see how we go this week, but it's a stacked field. Second elevated event of the season.
Yeah, the field strength this week is really good. As some of the players that have been over in Dubai and Abu Dhabi the past couple of weeks, they are rejoining the PGA scene this week, and it's really stacked that field out. Mark, talk to me about your model this week. What are the key course stats that you're going to be looking at?
There's nothing unusual, particularly here. Strokes gained approach is a big part of my model though this week. A really large part of it, more so than normal. And I've actually I'm actually use the buckets as it were as well, which I don't normally use for the approach. Then the usual stuff like that I would play anyway. Normally, like I've been using the birdie or better, but also the applied win percentage, which I've been quite pleased with recently. How that's worked out round the green, usual stuff. A little bit of putting, a little bit of course history. Nothing particularly unusual. It's more in the detail of how I've done the approaches. The only thing that's different this week.
Yeah. So with the approach, Mark, are you're looking at the sort of like the different yardages this week
Yeah.
on approach?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got those all at different ratios at the moment. So
Very good. Jack,
Yes.
your course key stats.
It's not as big, my model this week, not as big as it normally is, but obviously this is over the last 32 rounds mine's based on. So I've got strokes gained off the tee, a good drive percentage, strokes gained on approach, long-term proximity from 150 to 175, strokes gained around the green on that's on Bermuda surfaces, sorry. Strokes gained putting on Bermuda, opportunities gained, birdies are better gained, bogey avoidance, and then the comp courses of TPC Scottsdale, TPC Summerlin, Summit Club, and the concession. That's my model this week.
All very similar kind of things, to be honest. So I won't repeat old ground there. But how much emphasis are you putting into your course history this week at this event? Because there's a lot of the golfers, when you see that they've done well previously, they do well every year. With that said, you see some of the golfers that have only played it once or twice still seem to get round the place and you know, they've some good results in there. Cantlay comes to mind, the Gala. Is there a lot more emphasis this week on course history, do you think? Or are you still sort of, is it in the balance for you? It's something that you've got in mind, but you're not putting too much emphasis on it.
I can tell you the weight of TPC Scottsdale got 10% in my model. The others are the others are sort of between 2 and 5%.
Cool.
like if you look at Tony Finau's history, if you want to see a really random history for a course,
He's
like,
got bad history here.
we had 3 miscuts in a second
Yeah.
in his last 4 times here. So like, you know,
And
There's
yeah,
gonna be a lot of
absolutely.
people
from that.
There's going to be a lot of people that played this course for like only the first or second time really this week, because it's become an elevated event. So you're going to get a lot more golfers turning up. I mean, Tom Kim's never played the event. We'll get into all that in a minute. Terrell Hatton's only ever played this once. So, you know, there's a lot of good golfers, but they've only ever played this once or they've never played it at all. So, it should be a fun week anyway. This is I'm looking forward to this week. I had to get my rant out the way. I'm in a better mood now.
One thing we shouldn't be impacted by this week is the weather. We absolutely should not see any weather impact this week.
God forbid we get a dust storm come through. Jesus Christ, we can't be doing that. No.
He just said he was happier again, Nick, and you just started him off again.
Well, I just poke the bear. Just keep poking.
Yeah.
I guess we better look at these golfers then, and let's have a look who's in this stack field this week and who ranks were in the models, guys, who we're looking at. Jack, as you've removed admin duties from me on my my
sorry, I haven't. It's, you know, if you showed up once in a while, you know.
Oh, that was a deep cut. That was a deep cut.
By the way, Jack, you didn't mention who won last week's host league.
I'm not in charge, mate. I'm not in charge.
No. I wonder why Nick's not mentioning that this week.
I've purposely not mentioned that. I'm kind of glad that it didn't, because I didn't want it to start becoming a recurring theme where it's like, oh, Nick wins when he's not on the show, because contrary to popular belief, I actually quite like doing this show. I don't like missing shows, and I don't want to have to miss shows to win that league. So I'm kind of glad that I didn't win it last week, actually. No, well done, Mark, on the win. Which puts
it's your
you
turn to win this week, Nick.
It is. We're in a bit of a cycle. So
yeah.
It is. It's
we are actually. We are in the cycle. So.
Yeah. It will be me that'll break that cycle. I can guarantee that. So well done on the win this week, Jack. Yeah, we'll pick that back up again next week. before we do build these lineups as well, it is not too late to subscribe to Jack's tracker. I know you've done a lot of work this past week on that, Jack, because we're getting a lot of confirmations in different fields. And I know that there's a few more people that have joined the chat as well. It was very lively over this past weekend. So if
it
people,
was mainly me moaning.
well, yeah, that's enough life in the chat, to be fair. But anyone who does want to subscribe to Jack's tracker, it is absolutely worth the money. It is $3.49.
You're doing a discount, are you?
Is it $3.49? $3.99?
Yeah. Well, Nick's doing a discount. Nick's making up the rest himself.
I'm cutting off the top. And basically just sort of cutting the middleman out. I'll get it you on the cheap. I'll get it you on the cheap.
It's £3.99. If you want access to it, hit me up. Just send me a DM. And don't tell me how you're doing on day one on golf, please. That's it.
Yeah.
That's all I ask.
And if you do want it at $3.49, I'll sort you out. But no, $3.99. It is worth every penny. It's practically being given away at that price. In fairness, it should be charged higher. It's certainly helping me in my season long, at least. We'll remind you of that every week, Jack. Don't worry about that.
That's fun. That's fun.
So the golfers then, let's just have a look at this 10K range first, because I think with the strength of field this week, it does warrant its own conversation, really. So all the big hitters there this week: John Rahm, Rory McIlroy, Scotty Scheffler, Tony Finau, Xander Schauffele rounds out the 10K range. Worth noting as well, John Rahm is actually in a range on his own. He's at 11K. So he actually comes in higher price than Rory this week. Jack, I'll start with you. Who is your pick of the bunch? I have a feeling I know who it is, but fire away.
It's actually, I'm just looking. I've just gone into the ownership because I wanted to have a look at that first. I mean, John Rahm is the number one player within my model, and actually, Rory McIlroy, I thought he'd be higher than this, but he's seventh within my model. Scheffler's fourth within my model this week. I mean, I don't think you can go far wrong in this range at all. I do think it comes down to making the decision between Rory and Rahm, personally. Rahm's drawing the ownership at the minute for some reason. I didn't expect that, actually, with the price, but the projected ownership is at 24.65%. As I mentioned, within the model sort of aspect of this golf course, you want to be straight off the tee. You want to hit it quite far. Both Rahm and Rory certainly do that. I think I'm going to play Scotty Scheffler as well in GPPs this week. So between my cash lineup, I'm going to choose between Rahm and Rory. I haven't quite decided as of yet. I'm probably leaning more towards Rahm. I do think he's on a bit of a heater at the minute. I just think he wants to be world number one. So I just think he's playing with more of a chip on his shoulder. We haven't seen Rory on the PGA Tour at all this season. He's obviously played out in Dubai and won, where he beat Patrick Reed in a thrilling match up there. But and he played quite well out there, Rory. But I think I'm going to lean towards Rahm in my cash lineups, and I think I'm going to go to Scotty Scheffler, who's not doing anything wrong. He's hitting the ball well. He's top 5 within this field on approach, etc. Just he's green across the board, Scotty, and the only place he's losing strokes is with the putter. That's going to flip one day, and I mentioned it in the group earlier. When it flips, he's going to win again. He won this event last year. Why can't he go back to back? We saw that last year. I think in GPPs, just because of the ownership discount, I'm going to go to Scotty at the top.
I think it is interesting with the ownership, Jack, between Rahm and McIlroy, but I think we will see that balance out. I think it'll be a lot more even when it comes to lineup lock, personally.
Yeah. I mean, Tony Finau's ownership's currently projected at 21.35%. I don't think I can play that, personally.
No, I don't think
I
he'll
know
need that.
I know he's playing well at the minute, although he did nearly miss the cut at the Farmers. I know he stormed back over the weekend and played really well, but his course history here is terrible. Apart from the second, he's missed the cut every time.
Yeah. Mark, anything different from you there?
Not particularly. Scott is my favourite player. He's actually number 1 in my model. Oddly enough, I do like Xander as well. I mean, I know he's the second lowest owned, but again, third year last year, second year before that. You know, never worse than 17th in the last 5 years here, and he's been on a fantastic run. Other than for that withdrawal he had, and he seems to be over those issues. So for me, it's all about ownership. Really, I'll be interested to see what it's like closer, and then I'll probably make my decisions on his because you cannot go wrong in this area. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't know if either of you tried to do this. Have either of you tried to get a line up with both two of them in yet?
Who's that? Rahm and Rory.
Well, no, or Scheffler and Xander or something. Any two of these top 5.
I'll try Rahm and Rory and see how much. I mean, if you do Rahm Rory, you're left with
Mm.
7,050. I've not really looked that far down, but I mean, it's doable.
Yeah.
Only doable.
Yeah.
I guess we'll give it a go at the end.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do agree with all the sentiments. I don't think there's a bad pick per se in this top 5. I'm swaying slightly more to Rory at the moment, I think. And there's no bias in that. It's just what I'm seeing from the numbers more than anything. Is like there isn't a part of his game at the moment what is weak, really. When you look back as far as the Masters last year, he's only really dropped strokes in a certain area of his game 4 or 5 times, which is staggeringly consistent. His strokes gained on approach, putting, and in his short game as well, which I think will play a little bit of a factor. He's just in such good form. He played well in Dubai without, it didn't seem like he got out of third gear. In the end, it was close, but he sort of cantered through on that last day. It felt a little bit like it did at the Open, where he got himself into that winning position and then he was just sort of playing steady golf on the last day. But he still got it done and he held that putt on the 18th and it was a great putt as well. So I don't think these greens are all that challenging. So I think Rory is my pick this week. But I think, again, he'll be a popular pick, as will Rahm, as will Scheffler, as will Finau. I don't think you can pick a wrong player. You just go with your gut on whoever you want to pick, and just ride it out. See how you go this week. I think this top 5, the strength of the field anyway. There's no bad golfer at this top end. It's just a preference thing. I think that's what it comes down to.
Finau's my fade at the top.
Yeah, I think if there was one that I wasn't playing, I think it would be Finau for me as well. I would be inclined to agree with you there, Jack. We'll move on to the 9K range then. So we might as well rhyme them off because there's not too many. We've got Max Homer, Justin Thomas, Colin Morikawa, Patrick Cantlay, Hideki Matsuyama, Victor Hovland, Sungjae Im, Tom Kim, and Matthew Fitzpatrick rounds us off in the 9Ks. So I will come back to you first of all, Mark. If I could get a pick from you for who you like in this 9K range. Again, it's a stacked range, this.
It is completely. I mean, it's... I'll be interested to know what you two think about, for like cash game lineups and stuff, whether you start with the 9s. But my favourite play here is Morikawa. I can't remember, Jack, when you were saying about a couple of weeks ago, you were like wanting to get on him and stuff. And
he's going to win soon.
Yeah, he's got a third and a second, and I just think he's great value. So 9.7.
He's my favourite player as well, Mark, in this range.
Yeah.
I love Morikawa this week. He's the only place he's losing strokes is with the putter. He's the most accurate player off the tee in this field over the last 32 rounds, and that's what I want. That's quite a bit. I know we always look at approach, but being accurate off the tee around this place is you're gonna go far. It's a top stat to look at this week, along with approach. So I love him. He's my top player in the 9K range as well, Mark.
This Morikawa, I think this week, like this kind of course is like perfect for Morikawa's game, I think, because he's not one of the longer players off the tee, but he doesn't have to be here because every other aspect of his game will come into play. His tee to green is obviously it's fantastic because he is so accurate off the tee. And his approach play, his iron play is fantastic. I really like Morikawa this week as well. Is there anyone else for you, Jack, in this range?
It's another player really that I think is going to win soon as well, and it's Hideki Matsuyama. I know we always sort of look at Hideki and think, oh god, like it's the putting that always lets him down. He came ninth. What was it? The Farmers. He's got good course history here as well. Like he's had 3 top 20s, 42nd there in 2020, and a missed cut. So he's got really good course history around this place. Again, he's only really losing strokes with the putter. He's losing a little bit off the tee, which I don't like to see. But on approach, he's pretty good. He's just another player I think is going to win soon, and I want to be on him when he wins. Him and Morikawa are probably my favourites within this range, most definitely. It's weird, isn't it, with Max Homer? I don't think I can pay that price for him. I think it's just a bit too much. I get the play. Yeah. I think it's a bit too much for me.
Yeah, I like what I see from him, and I wish I could. I want to actually play him, but I'm with you at that price. I just don't think I could bring myself to it. If he was priced at like Hideki or Hovland, I'd probably jump on him.
I love the Koreans again, both of them, Sung Jae and Tom Kim. Tom Kim actually has Ricky Fowler's old caddy on his bag, and Ricky Fowler has fantastic course history around this place. And a lot of people say, "Oh, what's that got to do with the caddy?" The caddy knows all the layouts of the greens. The caddy will help the pros read the greens and things like that. He actually made a statement. I don't know the name of the caddy, but it's Tom Kim's caddy made a statement after that miscut at Sony and said that he hadn't been to Sony in 10 years because Ricky Fowler never used to play it. I don't know. There's just something into it. I love both the Koreans this week. I think this is set up well for Tom Kim. Can you imagine Tom Kim on that 16th hole if he got a hole in one or something? Like with the crowd. Like we know what he's like. Like he can really get the crowd going. It's like a team event there on that 16th hole. I love both of them again. I've been in on these Koreans since sort of the back end of September last year, and I'm not scared to play either of them here. They're elite with their irons. They do everything pretty well. I know I call Sung Jae a plodder. I do think he's a plodder, but I don't think the scoreline here will be out of reach for him. I call him I don't like him when it gets to scores sort of over like 20 under or something like that. I don't like him then. But as long as the score sort of stays between 15 and 19, I think he can win as well. But I mean, I've bet Tom Kim this week. I think the price is silly, and I think he'll thrive in this environment.
He's the number. Sorry.
Oh, that's all right, Matt. Go on.
It's to say he's number 1 tee to green last 86, and that's this price range as well, Tom Kim. Yeah. So, and Morikawa's second. So yeah, it's interesting.
It's a great range.
The thing with what I was going to say with Sung Jae then is, like ever since you've called him a plodder, Jack, I've sort of like I've understood what you've meant with every passing tournament that he plods through. But he's a consistent plodder.
Yeah.
When you look at like he's a consistent plodder, and for his price, if he plods consistently but doesn't win, you're still quite happy to pay that price for someone that's potentially giving you a top 10, top 15. You're probably quite happy with that at the end of the week. And there's always the chance that, like you said, on this kind of course, with the kind of scoring, he could well find himself in the mix on day 4. So yeah, I like that. I like Tom Kim as well, echoing everything that you've both said. Before we move on to the 8s, is there anything else of note that you do want to mention?
Obviously, monitor if you're going to play Fitzpatrick, monitor that neck injury that he had. I'm not too sure that's what made him miss the cut at Pebble. I think he got caught in the bad weather wave, to be fair to him. So I think that was in part due to his miscut there. I can't play Justin Thomas at that price either. He's just spraying it everywhere off the tee, and he's going to find himself in a lot of trouble. Although he does have good course history around this place, but I don't think I can play him at that price.
Yeah, he looked a little bit better at the Farmers, but still not the Justin Thomas that we're accustomed to seeing, where he was just putting top 10 after top 10 after top 5 after top 10 after top 5 after win, that kind of streak together. That golf just isn't there at the moment for him. There's just no consistency in his game. So yeah, I'm the same. For that price, I'm still not seeing enough from him at the moment to justify paying that price for him. And it actually really, when you look at his results recently, the only reason he's priced at that is because of his name at the moment, because the golf he's playing isn't 9,800 worthy currently. The 8s then. Now, in the 8 range, we've got Cameron Young still here, Jordan Spieth, Sam Burns, Saith Theegala, Tyrrell Hatton is here to slam his club around and throw tantrums on the PGA Tour again. Can't wait for that. Taylor Montgomery, Shane Lowry, Tommy Fleetwood, and Ricky Fowler. Mark, you can start us off in the 8K range again.
I think Cam Young is just underpriced. I think he's great value. I can't remember the last time he missed a cut. He's got distance as well, which is kind of a decent stat for this course. Absolutely love him, and also like Tyrrell Hatton as well. He's become
I like Hatton.
Yeah, he's become surprisingly consistent, which I didn't think was something we'd ever say about him. Definitely not last year. So again, other than there's one thing I just want to say more about this range is this is the week where Taylor Montgomery misses a cut. This is the week. This is the week for your bet, Jack.
Well, he's losing strokes on the approach, isn't he? So
yeah, it's this is the week he misses a cut. So I'm saying that now. But yeah, again, there's a fair few. A few I could play here and stuff. But yeah, those two are my main two, Young and Hatton.
Yeah, I like Hatton. To be honest, I like both the English guys in this range. I like Fleetwood as well. Lowry, I don't know. There seems like there's been a little bit of a drop off in his game.
he's
Jack,
he's got a new caddy this week. He's binned off his old caddy, Shane Lowry. So
interesting.
That works for some people. They bin them off and they do quite well after. But we'll see what happens. I can't play Lowry. I'm the same as Mark. Cam Young's probably the only. I don't really like this range. Cam Young would be the only one I consider. I think you have to consider a little bit of fatigue from him coming back from Saudi last week. He played in the Saudi International, come second out there actually. I know a lot of the Live haters were rooting for him to win to stop the Live guys getting world ranking points. It's like from winning, and Abraham Answer ended up winning a Live guy. But yeah, it's Cameron Young for me. I like Hatton, but I think Hatton's more of a GPP play because you know how volatile and how much he can just blow up in an instant. And that could easily happen around here. I mean, say he's in his backswing on that 16th hole and someone, I don't know, drops a beer or something. And we know what Hatton's like.
He'd probably pick it up and drink the rest of it.
He'll either do that or he'll just snap his club or something. We know exactly.
Throw his putter at someone's head.
We know what he's like, so he's very.
I don't think he's as bad as I think his reputation's a bit unfair on him, to be honest. He's like 5 in his last 8. He's had 5 times he's been 8th or better, which is
Oh yeah, no,
pretty
he's fine.
special.
He's playing really well. I do like him, but I think he's more of a GPP play because I
Mm.
know how highly volatile he can be at times.
But he isn't being volatile. That's kind of my point at the moment. He hasn't been for a while.
No.
We'll see.
But
We'll
no,
see.
I don't like the range. I'm not paying that for Ricky Fowler. Ricky Fowler, yeah, great, playing well at the minute. And it's good to see that Ricky's playing better golf. Great course history around here, but I'm not paying 8,000 for Ricky Fowler.
No, I agree. There was just briefly going back to Hatton. I think it was the Dubai Desert Classic, which he ended up finishing tied 38th. But I think on the second day, on the last hole, I think he makes an eagle putt, and it basically meant that he made the cut. He was playing the weekend. And his reaction to it was brilliant because he was like almost in tears. Not because he'd made an eagle putt, but because he basically just wanted to leave and didn't want to play golf on the last 2 days. He was done with the tournament. And he even said in his interview, I kind of didn't want to make that putt because now I'm having to play golf for the next 2 days, which I didn't really want to do, which is such a Tyrrell Hatton thing to say. But yeah,
I love
hopefully
watching him. He's great. He's great to watch. He really is.
he is. He is us on a golf course. I feel like when I watch him, I think, do you know what? You're one of us, absolutely. Maybe not with the bank account, but everything else definitely. There is too many in this 7K range to mention, so just a bit of an overview of the 7K range, and then we'll have a look and see if there's any diamonds in the rough a little bit further down. I know you said, Jack, you've not looked too far down this week, and in fairness, I don't think you need to if you're building your lineup a certain way. But in this 7K range, who is it that you've got your eye on, Jack?
Yeah, I like Jason Day at 7,900. I know the last time he played here in 2021, he missed a cut, but he was dealing with back issues and things like that then, and some personal issues as well. But he's been getting better as this sort of season started here. Amex, he was 18th, and then at the Farmers, which is a tough track, he was 7th. He's actually really high. He's 3rd in my model over the last 32 rounds. He's green across the board as well. Like he's gaining strokes on approach, gaining strokes with the putter, tee to green. He's there. Strokes against total. He's gaining across the board. And yeah, he's just playing quite well at the minute. Jason Day. Do I think he can win this event with the field? No, but I don't mind paying that for him at that price. Love Siwoo Kim. Always love Siwoo Kim. He's
Yeah, I like
talking
Siwoo.
about someone that's not volatile anymore. It's Siwoo Kim. He just makes cuts galore now. Obviously, one at Sony. Again, green across the board here for me. Very good on the approach. Loves TPC golf courses as well. We know he's won the Players Championship. That's the TPC golf course. So loves the golf course designs of these. Who else I like down there? I love KH Lee. Talk about TPC. It's TPC Lee, as they called him. Again, green across the board. Did miss the cut of the Amex, but I don't give well, I nearly swore again. Then I don't give a crap about that.
That ship sailed, Jack. You might as well carry on.
I was just gonna say, yeah. There's no jar that we're putting money in, so you might as well just keep going.
I had my 10-minute rant at the start. I'm not going to swear again. He missed the cut at the Amex, that crappy rotation event. But before that, he was 28th, and he got that 7th. Didn't he? I know we sort of talked him up on the Tournament of the Champions show. Again, just gaining strokes across the board, losing a couple with a putter, which is not nice to see. But I will dig deeper into his stats a little bit and see if he putts better on Bermuda. But yeah, they're my 3 guys. It's these Koreans. I can't get off these Koreans at the minute.
You've got a problem, Jack.
Do you know what? Siwoo Kim, I think he's one of my favourites this week. I really like him. I'm with you, Jack, on that. Mark?
Yeah, Siwoo again for me. I just think he's underpriced. You look at the players around him. I also have, I've got KH Lee in my model as well. Funnily enough, Joel Darman's appearing quite high up in my model as well, which I need to investigate quite why.
How did he do last week, Darman?
41st.
Oh, right. Okay.
He's got a good run before that. But yeah, I'm not really sure why he wasn't somebody I identified as I thought would do well. But other than that, pretty much the same as you guys, as Jason Day as well. He's there. He's in like 13th in my model as well. So yeah, quite a few decent plays here, which you're
Oh,
going to
there's
need, I
loads.
think.
There's loads in this
Yeah.
range.
Yeah, more than we could talk about probably tonight. But you're going to need
Yeah.
them, I think, if you're going to be
Yeah.
paying up.
I quite like Poston as well at 7-3. Not bad course history. He had made 4 cuts the last 4 times he's played here. Decent form coming in as well. It's the last time we saw him, I think he was a 6th finish. But I just like what we're seeing from his game. He's gained strokes on approach in his last 4 events. Tee to green is looking pretty good for him as well. Even where he's lost strokes, they've not been like absolute catastrophes. His game's pretty steady at the moment. So at 7-3, I quite like his price there as well. But yeah, like you said, Mark, you're going to have to dip into this range. You're certainly going to have to pick golfers from this range to afford these guys at the top this week. You can't build a lineup otherwise. It has to be done. Absolutely has to be done. Someone who you've been on for a few weeks, Mark, and I've seen pop up in a couple of articles that I've been browsing this week. But Brian Harman was someone that I feel like you were on for a couple of weeks.
Yeah,
Are you
that's a
still on
good
that
point.
boat, or has that sailed?
No, I haven't. I'm really not actually. But just to try and work out where he is in my model, and I'm having to go down. Okay, he's 30th, but he's not too far behind. Like
He's
20th
11th
and
from
stuff.
1.
Yeah. So no, I haven't actually. The guy I've been actually on, who's it was actually interesting thinking about was Seamus Power. He's the one
He
I've
should
been
have
on
won
for.
that. He should have won that event last week, and then they pulled him off the course.
Yeah,
This is why I've got the ump.
he's got terrible course history here, though. Like it couldn't be any worse. Just miscut and miscut. So I'm not sure about that. Again, something to delve into. Also, his approach figures aren't great for the last 36. So something to. But he's so consistent, isn't he?
Yeah.
So yeah.
I like Lucas Herbert actually at 7,200 as well. Another one I like. Been playing on the DP World Tour.
Been playing well.
Yeah, very well. 2 top 10s on the DP World Tour in the last 2 events. Played the Saudi International as well last week, and he got top 10 in that. And that was a stacked field there as well, because obviously it had all the live guys in it. So you had your DJ withdrew, but you had your Koepkas, your Answers, your Niemans. They all played that event last week. And he was in the top 10 there as well. So no stranger to getting up to the top of the leaderboard in these events, and he's not scared to hang with the best. So yeah, I do like Lucas Herbert at that price, 7,200.
Yeah, good shout that. Good shout. And he has been playing good golf recently. I've watched quite a bit of the DP Tour recently, and he has been playing some good golf. I didn't watch much of the Saudi last week, but just a disclaimer for Paul, who has only just joined us, saying he'll watch later. If you do, watch with earphones in and not around children. Parental guidance and all that. Before we start building these lineups, I'm going to actually just call this segment Diamond in the Rough, because I feel like it fits, because we're talking about golf rough. We're looking for someone that's going to shine for a week, even just for 1 week. Is there anyone below the 7K range that you like? Mark, I know you love that. You love that.
I do. Well, I might like the Spaceman Sam Ryder, if I'm going to choose anybody here.
Spaceman Sam Ryder, I like that.
That's a Eurovision reference. I know you love your Eurovision, Jack.
Oh god.
Jack plays DFS Eurovision.
I know he does. I know.
Yeah,
we even got him to watch it, Nick, didn't we, last year?
yeah. I could
won't say
share
why.
the screenshots of our WhatsApp conversation if you want to.
Yeah, so it's like the yeah, he's last 4 times here he's made the cut, and he was 4th last time out as well. So for what else are you going to choose based on in this range? You're not going to get somebody who's consistent, say.
Russell Knox, you want consistency?
Yeah, he's definitely underpriced as well, isn't he? He's very
Yeah.
short though.
I don't
Just
think it
wonder-
matters too much.
Yeah.
He's made the cut here every time he's been here, except
Yeah.
once.
Yep. There you go. So it's not a total waste ground for a change.
Yeah, there is. I think there is a couple that you could punt on. I think you've just sort of got to bank on a certain stat. You know, I'll throw out there, and he's not one that I've got my eye on, but Jonathan Vegas, for example, is a good tee to green player. Reasonably long off the tee as well. But again, I think you've just got to, in this range, you've just got to have a little look, see if there's someone that's ticking a box for you, and plug them in. There is a few to be found. Is there anyone, Jack, that you've got your eye on at this range?
Not particularly. I mean, like you say, there's a few. If you want to take a punt, if I'm playing cash lineups and I need a 6K guy, it's going to be Russell Knox because I know what I'm getting. I think he'll make the cut, and I think he'll plod his way around. Nothing exciting. I don't think he can win this event, but yeah, I'm kind of with you, Nick. If I was going to sort of GPP guys, I mean, I've got a thing for Cameron Champ. I don't think people should go there. I mean, like Cameron Champ is like the ultimate boom bust DFS golfer. I just have a thing for him. So again, I don't recommend that to anyone that plays DFS. But yeah, I think Knox. If you want consistency, I think Knox is your guy in that range.
Yeah, fair comment. I guess we better start building these lineups then. See what we can do. I think we're a bit of a balanced lineup. We'll see what we can put together as a top heavy lineup. We'll go with that one first because I know we said what would it look like if we were to throw in a couple of guys from this range. So shall we see what lineup we can build with a Ram and a Rory, or do we go Ram and Scheffler, or?
Let's do Rahm and Scheffler. I do think you have to make a stance on Rahm or Rory. You play one or the other. That's your personal choice at the end of the day.
Yeah. So we've straight off the bat, we've got to come right down.
Todd, Brendan Todd, second last week.
Yeah.
You happy with that, Mark?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely. And then if you wanted to drop down into 6 to get up a little bit more, you could play Knox for consistency there. And then you're back up to sort of 7-3. You get your boy in Poston, Nick.
Yeah, I would throw him in.
And then you're up to 7-4 for your last guy. We could play Brian Harman.
Poston.
I actually don't mind Russell Henley either, but I think we could play Brian Harman in this lineup.
Putnam's had a little bit of a fall from grace, hasn't he, with some of the salaries he's been priced at in recent weeks. Yeah, I know he didn't make the cut last week, but he'd not been playing bad golf up to that point. He'd had a string of made cuts as well. He's priced reasonably low this week. I think he's 7. Yeah, 7. That's not bad. No, that's not a bad play at that price. So I mean, you can see if you're going to throw in 2 of the guys from that top range, you've got to build a lineup like that.
I don't hate that lineup, though.
No, I don't mind it. You could argue that you could maybe drop one of the 7-4 or 7-3 guys and try and slot in someone else that's maybe around 6-5, 6-6, so that you can get to the top end of the 7s.
Yeah.
But I don't know if the drop off is worth it. You'd really be taking a punt on the 6K guy, and you'd be hoping that the high 7K guy lands for the week, I guess. Let's have a look at a bit of a balanced build then.
Just try this one off the bat. It leaves you with 7-3.
Go on.
Sung Jae, Tom Kim.
Are you building a Korean lineup again?
No.
Do I need to go and find KH Lee?
No. Just play Sung Jae and Tom Kim. Yeah, and Morikawa.
Morikawa.
Can we get some
Yep.
Siwoo in there as well?
Right, now that leaves you with 7-3. If you come down, now we can put Knox in this lineup for consistency again.
Siwoo's going to find his way into this lineup, Mark. I will tell you
I
that.
know he is.
He
I
is
know
going
he
to
is.
find. He is going
I
to find
know.
his way in.
Now we're up to 7-5. If we want to go there, we could get TPC Lee in at 7-5.
He could.
I
You
think
could. You
If
could
you
either
take
throw
Knox
him in.
down, you can get Siwoo and TPC Lee. Take Knox down to like
What, go right down into the sixes?
something.
All right,
Yeah,
yeah,
so
take Knox out.
Take Knox out. Put Siwoo in.
Siwoo
6,
and
7.
TP and put what do you call it in KH Lee as well.
Yeah,
KH
can you
Lee's
get
in.
the Spaceman in now, or is he too
6-7.
Oh,
you could play two glove Rye.
two
Yeah,
glove
can't
right. Pat and Kaziri.
Adam Svensson, popular pick always, normally down there.
Nick
Just,
Taylor's down here as well. Brandon Wu. Brandon
It's not
Wu's not been
terrible.
too bad recently.
It's a good lineup. This is a good lineup. I like
Not
it.
terrible, is it?
I
There you
mean,
go. I think
throw
we've
in
done
whoever
enough.
you want from down this range, but
Yeah. What you do is you play 20 lineups with that 5 and then 20 different
Versions of it.
versions of it. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, with a rotation of the 6K.
Yeah.
I'd probably play Party Martin Laird, who's won this event before. There you go.
You do love a bit of Martin Laird.
Yeah. I like that lineup.
Yeah.
It's the Korean lineup.
The face doesn't really fit the Korean lineup, but honorary member for the week. He stands out a little bit. Last lineup, then let's just do a bit of a balance. I know that was pretty balanced. To be fair.
Was pretty balanced, wasn't it?
That was pretty balanced. But
there you go, Nick.
Let's have.
Lim wants Luke List, mate. So
no list. I can give you a list of golfers, but it probably won't have Luke List on it.
Paul's asked, "What do you think about Morikawa, Im Fowler?" Rewind about half an hour. We've gone through all them players.
Yeah. Yeah, probably timestamp that at about 35, 40 minutes in.
Yeah.
I'm going to do a Rory build, so let's throw in Rory. And then maybe come down to Tom Kim. Let's drop into the 7s.
Could you play Tom Kim and Cameron Young? Because we all quite like Cameron Young, didn't we? I don't know I just don't know what that leaves you with.
Yeah, it's possible. It's doable. It is doable. Let's come down to Russell Knox.
Russell Knox is just going to be the guy that
he is
now.
Just propping the lineup. It's doable. You've just got to get fairly cheap with your last couple of picks.
Get Brendan Todd in again.
Yeah, I like Todd.
Throw in Todd and
then you get Herbert in.
Lucas Herbert. There we go.
Yeah, I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, line up for everyone there.
Don't mind that at all.
No.
Well, there we go, fellas. Another week in the bag. Hopefully, better golf this week. Hopefully, no postponements for weather. Hopefully, no Jack Rant next week, though I've thoroughly enjoyed that this evening. Too much Kim, too much Korean.
No, we do like a Korean.
You can find me on Twitter at Nick of Wigan. Jack, where can the listeners find yourself?
Do they want to find me? You can find me on the Twitter machine at Jack Humphrey DFS. Please, if you're gonna rant and call me names and whatever, you're just gonna get blocked because I just can't deal with idiots anymore. So yeah, please, if you want to do that, if that's your thing, then yeah, bring it on. But I'm just going to block you.
Mark, the listeners can find you where?
@_SMRF. And if Jack blocks you, then just join my very expensive Patreon. I'll give you his mobile number, and you can get hold of him through the WhatsApp.
That is onlyfans.com/SMRF.
Yes, indeed. It's the trendy thing to do, you know. You get signed up by 888 Sport if you do it.
We will be back next week. Remember, as always, drivers for show, but put in for dough, and we will see you next Tuesday.
Cheers, guys. Much love.